Hey, welcome back. In this short video, I want to tell you about a Bosanquet theory, or philosophical theory of the state, and in general about my views on the state and nation state. So I read this book by this French guy, Bosanquet, about the philosophical theory of the state, and obviously he was doing some kind of how to say support or explanation in support of the state, which for me is okay. So this is an old book. I know that the state, the nation state, was a liberal movement in the 19th century and continued. But in my view, the nation state, the idea of an institution with borders that collects taxes and is based on an official language of a homogeneous nation, for me is not working anymore, and we need to move on to the next step. And this my critique to the modern society organized in nation states with fixed borders and taxation and so on. It's not new. Even in this book by Bosanquet, I could recognize some of my critiques. So quickly about some of the ideas that I remember from there. So what I think it happened. So the state in this last 2 centuries was seen like a religion, and as an atheist, I'm always skeptical about these spiritual, mystical ideas, even if sometimes I also feel spiritual and mystical, but I'm an atheist, so and I'm an anti-nation state, so for me it was a big turn off to read these religious, mystical ideas of the state. Is not that bad. The book is good, is written well, is not that mystical, but I recognize some ideas. So these guys were putting all their faith that this nation state will solve everything, and it's that good that everyone will be happy and so on and so on. But as we see in this life, this is far from true. And I remember the author saying that the state is like the state of the goals is to assure that everybody lives well, or something like this. And this is obviously not true. As we see, not everyone in the current world lives well. Actually, it's very far from reality. In Eastern Europe, around 1/3 to 1/2 of the population lives in poverty. So this definitely was not the brightest idea ever. And for me, as middle class, I don't understand how it is possible that I live in a system, a repressive system, that forcefully puts me in my place, forcefully collects taxes from me, forcefully puts me to work, and no one asked me if I want to be part of this system. And this is a huge problem. So no one asked me if I want to do what I need to do, and at the same time we say this is freedom. This is totally unbelievable for me. So it's a big contradiction that all these apologists of the nation state, the Westphalian order, I think it's normal. And let's not go into the criminal side of the state. So the state has a monopoly on the use of the force via police, via even paramilitary organization and military organizations. So my problem with the current state, one of my problems, is the political, judicial, security apparatus. And by security apparatus, I include the army. So these people rule us. And these people are above the law. That's for sure. This might be rejected by some, but for me, this living in Eastern Europe for 30 years and observing the political events, definitely this apparatus lives above the law. So checks and balances, the state of the rule of law, these are all stories, and only the ones who benefit this system believe in them. All of us, the rest, believe that this apparatus rule us repressively and do not abide the law as it should be. So basically, we live in a lie, and everyone seems to be alright with this. So my problem with this apparatus is that, one, they are above the law, and two, by extracting the money and resources from us who work like slaves, they live above the law and no one can touch them. So the security services have these secrecy laws. So we were supposed to be the sovereign people who decide the fate of and the direction of our nation through informed choices at the vote. And my question to you all is, how can you have informed choices if all these three elements, political, judicial, security apparatus, including the army, have secrecy laws? So they work with secrets that are not available for the public. So the whole idea of democracy and liberty is obsolete, and I'm sorry, but I cannot believe this story anymore. I'm a political science master. I believe in the idea of open society and democracy, but what we live in is far away from a democracy. And my problem with the army, so why do we have armies if we are in peace for how many? After Second World War, 45 to 21, it's 76 years we are in peace, and we spend huge amounts of resources on maintaining a monstrous system called army and security apparatus. This is a huge mistake from a humanitarian point of view. I'm a humanist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the state. I believe in human creativity, in communities, in the free market. I believe in redistributing resources, but not via a central state. I believe in justice. I'm reader of John Rawls' A Theory of Justice. So, and I believe this current system of nation states, the nation states in itself, is a huge problem. So I've touched the security services, the army problem. So the army, in my opinion, should go the way of Costa Rica. We don't need armies. We don't need this bullshit criminal system. These are dramas. These people are killers, and from here should start the whole reform of the system. And not only this, but they are above the law, because they have secrecy laws, because they have the weapons to kill us. And the other part of the problem is the mass media. I won't go now in detail. It's owned by the same political, judicial, business, security apparatus. So we don't know what's going on. We have never known, and we will never know. So I will end this video. I don't want to make it very long. I will end it with my solution. My solution is destroy the institution of the state, the centralized institution of the state. Don't discriminate, because that's what the state means. You discriminate based on nationality and language, ethnicity and language. Don't discriminate. Let the people migrate easily. Give some financial taxation powers to the communities, so the neighborhood where you live. Those neighborhoods should be, by definition, led by rulers who are voted freely and openly. Destroy the police, security apparatus, military. We don't need that, but again, this is tricky. We need to get to the level to do this when everyone on the earth will do the same. Otherwise, this obviously fails. If you destroy the military and the police in Europe and you leave it in the US, then obviously the US will have power over you. So what I'm proposing is a long-term solution. This should be studied in every single school on earth. We don't need army, security services, police. We can defend ourselves. Okay? If no one has army, no one kills. Okay? Armies, weapons should be universally destroyed. The way how they built them, this is how they could destroy them. So universal peace. We don't need this bullshit parallel system that rules us and kills us. That's for sure. So we won't have nation states because we are humans. We are not nations. Languages and nationalities are invented by humans. So easily we could invent better ones. So yeah, taxation limited, but to the community. So my new idea is community based, not this monstrous central system that I don't know who are these people who have my resources and steal my resources. So in this way, if I have the community based reallocation of resources, if they disappear somehow, I know who should I ask for accountability. Sure, we would have punishments, but not at the central level as we have them now. So everything would stay the same. The education system we won't destroy, the health system we won't destroy, just each community will have its own institutions of health and education. The police will be destroyed, the military will be destroyed. We will defend ourselves against the crazy ones who want violence. We will keep some weapons for ourselves for defense purposes, but the level of craziness and madness and secrecy at the nation state right now and paranoia with all these military and secret services is not acceptable anymore. So we need to reduce this drastically. Again, this is a draft of the theory. I'm not saying I envision this and I have the truth, but definitely we are not in the right place, and we need to teach everyone on this earth to change in this way. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the nation state. Sorry, Mr. Bosanquet, your philosophical theory of the state is too religious for me. I think we should get rid of this religion of the nation state. This is hurting people. Imagine right now, so these nation states, I live in Hungary, yeah? And I'm not Hungarian. And the latest elections, the government came with propaganda against foreigners, against Jews, against a lot of minorities, including ethnical minorities. So I have a workplace in Hungary, and I imagine the cognitive dissonance that some of my coworkers felt when their government said, go and discriminate based on ethnicity at work, in the community, everywhere. You are the Hungarians, you should be the rulers, yeah? And these guys came at work and saw, okay, there are these foreigners, my government tells me to ignore them and repress them, but these are good people, why should I do this? So I can imagine what kind of cognitive dissonance and huge psychological struggles these people felt in those moments when someone tells you to do something but you feel that's wrong, and this is your own government. So these are huge problems. We wouldn't have these problems if at this scale, monstrous scale, if we would give the powers back to the community and we wouldn't have this central system of the nation states. Yeah, I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but unfortunately we cannot stay in this organization formula anymore, because there are huge problems with it. So the problems far outweigh the benefits of this system. And yeah, this was my 2 cents on the nation state. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.